Thank you for joining us on another episode of Real People, Real Dialogue. Hi, I'm Dr. Theresa Watts. Today we're talking about the scandal that surfaced this week when the Republican governor of South Carolina, Mark Sanford, had to admit to having an extramarital affair with a lady out of Argentina. Now, for those of you who don't know, Governor Sanford has been a strong and forceful critic of President Obama's agenda, much to the delight of other conservative Republicans. And not only that, he was someone who was mentioned as a contender for the 2012 nomination. But this, in light of all the recent events, not only is he just basically a joke, in my opinion, he has now had to step down as chairman of the Republican Governors Association. I'm here today with Maria Yaneza to talk about how this affects us as the public.
Yes, yeah. Like you said, he's basically tarnished his reputation as an elected official. Mm-hmm. And like you mentioned as well, that he's been the biggest critic of the Obama administration. I would say it's not so much his extramarital affair, and that's his private life. Mm-hmm. It's the way he conducted himself. There was a search out for him. No one knew where he was. He was gone for 5 days. And as a leader of a state, you have certain responsibilities. Where are you? And so it was a concern. Now, with the current economic situation that we have in our country, Governor Mark Sanford was forced to accept a $700 million stimulus package for the state of South Carolina. Mm-hmm. Now, there's certain responsibility towards that, and how would you feel if you were a resident of the state of South Carolina as a taxpayer?
Yeah, and to me, it's not even so much about him having an extramarital affair. That's his business. That's something that he and his wife are going to have to work out. I'm sad for her and for every other woman who, finds their husband is having an affair, especially when you have to deal with it publicly like this. However, we are in the midst of the biggest economic recession that we've faced. Job loss is at an all-time high. And as an elected official of the state of South Carolina, how do you have time to fly to Argentina and have a little fling? I wish I had time to fly to Argentina or to Puerto Rico and have like a little fling with someone for 5 days and just shirk my responsibilities. That is my problem. And my thing is, and it's not even so much that he's a Republican. It doesn't matter. Republican, Democrat, Green, whatever party you belong to. The point of the matter is, you were so critical of the current president's agenda. Why are you not at your desk sitting down and coming up with solutions and resolutions for the problem, as opposed to starting email relationships with people out in Argentina and then flying off for 5 days, supposedly in the Appalachian Trails hiking, and having your staff and your team lie about it and embarrass themselves and embarrass your entire staff and team and embarrass your state because you want to run off and have an affair and cheat on your wife.
Exactly. And again, we come back to that's his private life, but his conduct and how he handled himself reflects upon, for example, he was the hopeful for 2012
mm-hmm.
runner for the Republican Party. Mm-hmm. How he conducts himself as a governor of South Carolina is critical. Mm-hmm. The public watches who's going to be mm-hmm. the next, who will be the running opposition. But unfortunately, this affects us because why would you be so irresponsible to just, hey, I'm gone and you didn't say where you are and the state is looking for you. There was a search for him, mm-hmm. I believe, and to your embarrassment, arriving on a return flight from Argentina, you find yourself apologizing to the whole nation.
Yeah, and then he apologized in this little roundabout way. First he started off with saying, oh yes, I actually do enjoy hiking in the Appalachian Trails, blah, blah, blah. And then, because I like to get away from the bubble, by hiking in the trails. And then goes on to say, oh yes, and I have had an extramarital affair. Thank you for admitting that, but what were the citizens of North Carolina supposed to do where you are out having your fun?
Exactly. And as a taxpayer, what is the benefit of the 700 million stimulus package? You do not see the benefit of this, and then next year you are subjected to pay for this stimulus package.
Right. And I apologize, I just said North Carolina, I meant South Carolina, but yeah, what are those citizens supposed to do when he's away doing these types of things? But, you know, as his wife, you know, apparently she knew about this for the past 5 months. She knew about the affair, and they're trying to reconcile and, you know, fix the situation. I mean, how would you feel? What do you speculate is going on?
I think if I were his wife, I would be, of course, number one, obviously, very embarrassed, and second, I would surf the wagon, as you say. That is, you know, just keep a low profile.
Yeah.
But the people who are affected with this public embarrassment are really his family, and which is unfortunate.
Yeah, and he mentions his father-in-law, you know, that he owes him an apology. I mean, he owes everyone of that state an apology, and his family and his team. He owes everyone an apology and an explanation of what the heck is going on. So yeah, I guess he has given us the explanation. I guess we should forgive him, move on, forgive and forget. Because again, this is between he and his wife. And regardless, if he was my candidate of choice, honestly, this would not keep me from voting for him. It would not. But what would keep me from voting for him is how he handled himself during a time where his people really needed him. Being gone for 5 days where no one knew where you were, that was a bit uncalled for.
Exactly, and plus having your staff, ordering your staff to cover for you, and they had to say, okay, he's walking in the Appalachian Trails east of the U.S. So. No.
Exactly right. I know. And you know what? And again, and to be fair, you know, if this scandal comes out for, you know, any, you know, Democratic any Democratic candidate, you know, we will probably be sitting here saying the same exact thing. It doesn't matter if he's Republican again or if he's Democrat or whatever. It's the issue at hand, how he handled himself. And you know, I hope, you know, his wife can recover from this, and I'm sure she will. And again, that's not our concern. That's between he and his family, and specifically he and his wife, and they're going to handle that. But we're definitely going to be watching and see how good old Republican Mark Sanford handles himself going forward, how he gets out of this mess. Thank you so much for joining us. No problem. I'll see you next time. Guys, thank you so much for joining us on another episode of Real People, Real Dialogue. Again, guys, we are just expressing our opinions and expressing our concerns about everyday issues. We want to share with you what is on our mind. Please feel free to share with us what is on your mind. We are on Facebook, so please join us on our dialogue page on Facebook, or even reply to our video here on YouTube. Again, thank you so much for joining us, and remember, always keep it real.